What up, guys? This is Wyatt with DCW Industries here. I've had a lot of comments asking about the setup on my Toyota. So today what we're going to do is we're going to do a little walk around. It's a different color now as well, so I'm going to go over what I've changed since the last video, what I plan on doing, and overall what's already been done to it. So let's get started. So my truck's a 2003 Toyota Tundra V8 limited 4x4. That's what it started off life as. It is a gray underneath this. This we actually did this week, and it's a Plastidip. We did the Coyote tan. We did the roof in black. Still have some other touch up to do. But let's get started with what's done to the front suspension first. I've owned this truck for probably 4 years, coming up on that in February, I believe. And about 2 years ago, my buddy got me into wanting to do like an overland build almost. So I went with a mid-travel suspension. I went with the Fox 2.5 coilovers with reservoirs, DSCs, with Camberg upper UCAs. I have replaced the uniballs a couple times now. They're not as invincible as everyone says. I also have the Total Chaos spindle gussets as well. I have broken a spindle back before I knew better. If you plan on building one of these first gen Tacomas, Tundras, Prerunners, do make sure you gusset it because it is a huge weak point on the truck. The first upgrade I actually put on this truck, if you can even call it an upgrade, was these wheels. I'm missing a lug nut there off that, but oh well. Get it replaced. But I got these back in 2015. They are 16-inch methods, and right now I've got them wrapped with the Falcon Wild Peaks, the new AT3s. So far I've been happy with them. I am running a 315 70 16, or my bad, 315 75 16, which when you equate out in inches, it is a 35-inch tire. Some of the clearance I've had to cut out a lot of the wheel well and push back the pinch weld, and I did have to run fiberglass, and I did have to even trim the fiberglass, and I still rub on the frame back here at full lock, if you guys can see that. It's just something that's gonna happen until I can afford long rear suspension goes. I was running the Deaver G57 pack. Up until about a couple months ago, I did put the stock lease back on and I sold my Deavers. My plans are I do want to go spring under. Right now where I live, it's up in the mountains. This is actually my buddy's house, but it is January right now. This time last year we had a bunch of snow, and it makes it pretty hard to work on trucks, and not very fun. So most of the work I do is usually in the spring and summer, and then I just kind of save money the rest of the year. This I added I want to say about a month ago, and this I picked up off of Craigslist for about 200 bucks. That's just the stock spare there. I want to see how it fit. I actually am probably going to get a different one built because this is not going to be able to carry a full-size 35. Another thing I've added since the last video is these bed sides. These are made by Fiberworks. I bought them down at CarTech in Corona. Very solid, very nice. I did have a set of Hannemans that you guys didn't see that I did not like. One of the major things I didn't like about the Hannemans is I did buy them used and they would crack all the time. These ones were a good $600 spent. I actually bought my other ones for $200 on Craigslist, and I sold them for $300. And that was another reason I sold the Deavers as well, is to help pay for this before winter time. I did want to get this done. I mounted it with some supports that you can see in there that I had made. Basically I took some thin wall 5/8 tubing, and I flattened the ends in a press and drilled holes, and then I ran these polyurethane bushings on the outside to make like a flush mount on the outside, which has helped a lot. I haven't got any cracks on it. I've taken the truck out in probably 4 or 5 trips now without any issues. On the front I'm running McNeil's. These are 4-inch over fenders. I like these because they actually have the flat top on them, as opposed to a lot of the companies make a rounded edge. I prefer the flat. It just makes the, to me, it makes the body lines flow better, and it just looks cleaner in my opinion. As far as lighting goes, I've got some stock bulbs in there. I used to have some HIDs, but they actually melted. So I do plan on going with like LED bulbs in the near future. I do want to get some ditch mount lights on there. I'm not a big fan of over the roof light bars. To me, it looks kind of tacky in my opinion. They do have their purpose and I like them, but growing up, going to the score races, I would always see the big HID racks on the top of the roof with, you know, 6 big HID, you know, round lights, and I've always liked that look. So I would like to go with that eventually after getting a good bed cage set up. But for now, I'm just trying to save money. I do want to go long travel in the front. There's a lot of stuff that I want to put on it, but I don't have that many days off. I don't have that much time, and I got to save money in order to do it. It doesn't happen all overnight. I mean, this is 2 years in the progress here. When I bought this truck, it was 100% stock, original, not a single dent on it. I kind of regret cutting it up sometimes, but it happens. So let's get into the interior. So this is the inside of the truck here. It is limited, so it is all leather. Driver's seat's all torn up, and it has been since I bought the truck. I just threw a seat cover over it. Eventually, I'd like to throw PRP seats and harnesses in there, but I'd like to get a roll cage first, because a lot of people don't know, if you put harnesses in a truck without a cage and you roll, you're guaranteed to die. A seat belt, you're designed to crush with the roof of the truck, whereas if you're harnessed straight in and the roof collapses, your body's got nowhere to go but getting crushed down. So safety first, I guess. It's actually safer just mobbing around with seat belts on for now. I've got 5% tint on the front windows just because I like the way it looks, as well as I don't like people being able to look in like at night and whatnot, and seeing what's inside here, because I do keep a lot of stuff in here and tools. Some of the stuff that I always carry with me is snap-on impact. Reason being is it's easy to bust lug nuts loose, or work on the truck in the dark. It just makes it a lot easier. It was a good investment. I've got radios, hams. I've got a couple handheld ones. I like to get something mounted. I've actually been mocking up something to go here instead of just a little plastic tray that a lot of trucks have when they replace the stereo, because the plastic tray is useless. Phone doesn't fit in there, nothing fits in there, and it's always angled and everything rolls out. So I figured might as well, you know, make the best use of the space and put like a comm center in it. I got a headset from Rugged Radios last year at King of Hammers because they were on sale. It wasn't probably the smartest purchase I've made, but I'd like to get a couple of those and have in-car communication as well as to others. Very useful in the desert, not so much when you're going by yourself or up here with just one buddy. Just a handheld ham will be fine, but it's nice being able to, you know, talk to somebody. And if you get the steering wheel buttons on like an aftermarket steering wheel, it makes it a lot easier. You don't have to take your hands off the wheel, which is what I kind of want eventually. Another thing I got in here is I got a full sound system. I've got vocal speakers front and rear with the tweeters, and then I've got a Alpine, or not Alpine, I'm sorry, that was my old one, Rockford Fosgate P3 12-inch sub in a custom box that I bought, and then a Pioneer head unit, just so that way I've got music when off-roading, and that way when you get one of those noises you don't like, you can just turn your music up louder for it to go away, and that just kind of fixes your problem, because who wants to actually get out and work on it? I'm just kidding. But most of the stuff in here is original. It's not anything special. I've got phone mount, and I've got, you know, WeatherTech floor mats. It's kind of a mess in here, but it's just original for the most part, and I kind of like it that way. I've got about 120,000 miles on the truck. Haven't had any issues mechanically that I haven't caused, other than like some four-wheel drive issues and just suspension parts wearing out, you know, prematurely, obviously. But it's been a pretty bulletproof truck, and if anyone's looking to build a truck, I definitely recommend a Toyota platform. If you're looking for something that's kind of a daily and a toy, go with a Toyota platform. It's going to take the abuse a lot better. Rather than a domestic truck. I've owned a lot of trucks. I had a two-wheel drive Tacoma for a long time, and I put 300,000 miles on it, and it just kept going. Whereas a lot of the domestic trucks, you get 120,000 miles and they start coming apart, you know, slowly, and it starts adding up cost-wise, and it's a lot of downtime with the truck. So if you got to get to work in the morning, I wouldn't recommend doing a Chevy N4 unless you can park it and actually build it. When they're done right and you put your time into it, they come out very nice. Same with Toyotas. It's like anything. If you're gonna use it, it's gonna wear out a lot quicker. So let's get into what's underneath the hood. Underneath the hood's a total mess. I run single battery that I got from work. I work at a parts place. 4.7 liter V8. Pretty much all original. Only thing I've got on here is a K&N, which I actually scooped up off Craigslist for 40 bucks. I probably never would have put one on. As far as horsepower goes, there's really no difference. You can't tell. It does whistle, and it definitely opened up the exhaust. It's a lot louder, and you get a lot more noise, and you get a nice, I don't know how to say it, but you get a nice hum at about 3,000 RPM. But I don't know what it would be like on a stock exhaust. This truck, the only thing that was done to it when I bought it was it had a MagnaFlow muffler on it, which I cut the end off the tip just because the devers would hit it, and you don't really want to get that hung up on anything. It'll cause a problem. You don't want to smash it on rocks. It's just not good. Other than that, it's all pretty much original underneath here. It is four-wheel drive. It looks like I've got a leak over there. That's new. Cool. Original steering rack. The lower ball joints I've replaced probably a half dozen times. They are a weak point in the truck. CV axles I got to replace all the time, especially when I'm 4x in it, just because they do wear out prematurely with the big tires. Most of this rear setup here is going to be for sale probably pretty soon. This I actually put on about 15 minutes ago, just because I had one laying around. I want to see what it looked like, because there was a tab welded on there. But most of the stuff I'm probably going to sell. I'm just running little Fox 2.0s in the rear, and they're definitely not enough shock for the weight of the truck in the back. So I definitely want to upgrade to a taller 2.5 and relocate the top shock mount probably up through the bed, something like that. I haven't really been able to leave the truck cut apart because I've only had this truck for a while. I sold my other car, but about 2 months ago I bought a tow rig over here off of one of my customers at work who's a good friend. He was selling his F350, so I did buy it, and it's pretty much all just original for the most part. It is diesel 6.0, but a lot of the major problems have been addressed before I bought it, so I don't plan on driving it all the time, but it is nice having a second vehicle to be able to both tow this and drive while this is down. It's pretty much impossible to build a truck all the way if you don't have something else to drive to work, just because you'll never be able to. It'll be down too much unless you've got someone who can give you a ride every day, and you just don't want to be cumbersome to all your friends when you need a ride every other day because your toy's broken. But other than that pretty much concludes what's done to the truck. I got a couple stickers on there, that's about that. But there's a lot to come. It's just all money. Hopefully we'll be coming out with more content soon. I'd really like to be able to bring some more videos of actually working on the truck and having it apart. But with snow coming possibly next week, it makes it very difficult to A, want to work on it, and B, to work on it. The snow is just not user friendly. And I don't have a garage right now, and neither does Brad. Hopefully in the near future, I'm trying to buy a house. If I can get something with a garage, we'll be making a lot more videos because we'll be able to do a lot more work, during this like what's desert season down here, but up here it's miserable to work on anything. So other than that, that's about it. If you guys have any other questions, let me know, and basically just leave a comment if there's something that you guys have a question about that I didn't address in this video. I know I'm probably missing stuff, but I just want to go over the basics of what I've got and what I want to do. So instead of me rambling on, I'm going to cut it off here. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos of beating up the truck. Thank you.